Hello fellow lovers of the liminal and the weird, and welcome to another video by Liminal Spaces. Today I am going to be making a response video to a video that was made by Grammaticus. If you do not watch Grammaticus's channel, you are really missing out. He started the exact same month and year that I did, and his channel is really wonderful. But he recently did a video where he just picked his 10 favorite covers from his library and showed off his book covers. So it's kind of an excuse for us to just judge a book by its cover. The contents are not important, just what the cover looks like. And I really loved this idea and thought that I would do it as well. So all morning I've been walking around, and the amount of covers that I would have to pick from, I couldn't do it. I had to find a way to slim this down. And what I ended up doing is saying, okay, I'm just going to pick a genre and pick the 10 covers that jump out to me right now from that genre. And I really want to emphasize that. If you ask me this tomorrow, I would pick 10 different horror covers. But for right now, today, going through my horror covers, these are the 10 covers that I grabbed today. I chose horror, of course, because we just got done with spooky season. I got a little bit of a Halloween hangover. I'm missing Halloween already. All we have left to look forward to is Thanksgiving and Christmas, which are very enjoyable. I love spending time with my family, but it's not Halloween. I love Halloween. Okay, let's jump into these. The first one that I chose is by Fritz Leiber, and it is his book called The Mind Spider and Other Stories. And I absolutely love the scary dog on this front cover. So this is by Walter Rain. And man, that is just the scariest dog. It's so good. Yeah, I mean, that's like, it looks like a nightmare. It looks like something that would step out of your nightmare. I absolutely love it. I did a video on one of the stories from this called Midnight in the Mirror World, which is still one of the best scary stories I've read in a long time. This cover, absolutely incredible. Next, this is something that I just recently got at my local Savers, a thrift store, and I'm really glad to have it. It's called Usher's Passing by Robert McCammon. I have no idea if the book's any good, but that cover, and this isn't even the first cover. I actually had this book, but I had the old cover, older than this, I believe. I think this is a later print. But I had this old cover, and then I saw this in the store, and unfortunately, it's been cut right here. No fun. But you still see most of that cover. And that cover, it's just the most scary pumpkin Halloween cover ever. I love it. I just think it's so well done with that spooky house back there and the way they did the pumpkin's teeth, and some of them are falling out. It's half skull, half pumpkin. Brilliant. Brilliant cover. Absolutely love it. I can't figure out who did this cover art. If you guys know, please tell me. I can find who did the original hardcover art, which does have a pumpkin. I can find that artist, and I can find the artist for the original paperback of this, but I cannot find the artist who did this. If you guys can find this artist, please let me know. Okay, moving on. I am going to be talking about a couple of anthologies for this. I think that anthologies is a really untapped market for incredible cover art, because they're not as collected as much as people collect specific authors. The first one I'm going to bring up is Horror Times 10. This is such a creepy cover, so scary, with that plant growing out of that guy's mouth. Wow, so terrifying. Unfortunately, the cover artist for this is uncredited. This came out in 1967, and there's no artist listed, but woof, what a creepy. Next up is the book you knew I was going to talk about. If you watch the channel at all, you know this is one of my favorite covers of all time, and that is Shirley Jackson's We Have Always Lived in the Castle. And this is such a wonderful piece of cover art. It's by William Thiessen, and this was eventually used by Bava, I believe, the director, for a movie called Shock. I'll put the poster up here, but this cover art was so inspiring that it was used again for a completely different piece of horror, a horror film. Wonderful, wonderful cover there. Next up, I have Kate Wilhelm's Abyss. This is 2 novellas. This falls closely to science fiction, but I chose it because I think it also could fall under cosmic horror. Cover art is done by Lou Feck, and I feel like he has, in this case, made kind of the perfect cosmic horror cover because Andy, I feel like, understood the second novella in this book because he has this almost Gothic. In this case, it's not just one woman running from a house with one light on in the window, but it's a woman and a man running from a house with one light on. And then we have this Cthulhu-esque alien horror floating above the house. Really, really good stuff. Next up is Peter Straub's Full Circle. This is a different title. I think this is a Canadian paperback, actually. But this is a different title for his book, Julia, which was the first horror book he ever wrote, which was later made into a movie called The Haunting of Julia, and also sometimes Full Circle. It's confusing. Either way, I absolutely love this cover. It depicts a specific part of a movie where Julia looks up into a window and sees this ghost girl who has a dead bird in her hand and is smearing blood on the window. And this rendition of it is absolutely incredible. So much better than the original hardback version of this book. This is just a classic, in my opinion. Let's see if I can find out who it's done by. Again, this is another uncredited artist. If anybody knows who this artist is, let me know. I would love to know who they are. Next, and I think this is true of everyone that's done this video, we all have a Frank Frazetta on our cover list somewhere, and the same is true with me. This is another anthology. This is a Lancer anthology, and it's called The Devil's Generation. And this is probably one of my favorite Frank Frazetta paintings of all time. Just this very, very scary zombie wizard on the front of this. And the spell he's casting, you can't really see it on the book because it says The Devil's Generation, but I absolutely love the spell here. Yeah, if there was a painting by Frank Frazetta that I hung on my wall, it would be this one, definitely. So spooky. The next 2 books that I've chosen, and this is maybe a little bit of cheating, but I chose because they are hilarious to me because they are so mismatched to the story inside them. They just don't make any sense. And the first one is this early copy of Interview with the Vampire with the romance cover. This is a wraparound cover, and the back makes a little bit more sense. You have Louis and Lestat and little Claudia there. But it just, this front, I don't know if that's supposed to be Louis or Lestat, but that would make more sense if this was Lestat and this was Louis. But yeah, this really made me giggle when I saw it. I think I got it for $1 somewhere and just had to grab it up because I can't believe that this is the cover for Interview with a Vampire. Again, I can't figure out who this artist is. It's not listed in the book, but yeah, fun wraparound cover there. The next one is the classic book Frankenstein with the pulpiest cover of all. This is a Lion book. It's Lion book 146. And I love how pulp crime this looks. It doesn't look like Frankenstein. I mean, they kind of made the guy in the back look a little bit Frankenstein-y. And when you look at his shirt and pants, you realize they're not just regular gray slacks and a red button-up shirt. They're kind of ripped up, but he's got the pants tied on. But yeah, this is the pulpiest cover for Frankenstein of all time, and I absolutely love it. It's just hilarious to me. Yeah, I'm having a very difficult time figuring out who the cover artist for that is as well. I'm sure some of you will know more about this than I will. Last but not least, I'm going to break all the rules here, which I like to do, and instead of choosing a book for my last favorite cover, I've chosen the only VHS tape that I still own. I cannot part with this VHS tape because the cover is so dang good. This is probably my favorite horror movie cover of all time, and that is The Company of Wolves. I remember before I even saw this film, before I was brave enough to rent it and watch it, that I would go to Blockbuster or Hastings and stare at this cover and just, I loved it so much. This guy with the werewolf mouth coming, the werewolf snout coming out of his own mouth, absolutely incredible. It is probably the scariest piece of werewolf art I've ever seen. Usually the transformation, the mouth itself turns into the snout, but in this case, it seems like the werewolf is coming from within. I can't tell you how much I love this cover. So good. And the movie's really fun too. If I've understood my search right, this is done by, painted by George Underwood. And I've never heard of George Underwood, but man, what a painting, George. Dang. All right, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And if you'd like to help support the channel, please go check out our Patreon. Thank you so much for watching.